Would you like to hear about the weird problem that happened with my leg?
Is that the thing that you get VA benefits for?
Yes.
Is that the only thing?
Yep, I get 10% disability for this one and only thing.
Not for your messed up spine, not for your multiple concussions.
Nope, not for the major depressive disorder.
Not for the major traumas from being mortared repeatedly.
Nope, none of that stuff. It's for this weird fucking problem that happened with my leg. Doctors hate me. This happened completely out of the blue one day. So I got this really bad pain on the inside of my left thigh, right up towards the groin. Mm-hmm. It felt like somebody had just shoved a knife into my leg.
Yeah.
Before the pain was even there, I would get this feeling of impending doom. Like something really fucking bad is gonna happen.
You can feel the pain coming.
Once this started happening more and more, the moment that would start happening, I would be like, all right, well, I'm going back to my room. I'll see you guys in like 5 days.
You'd be out of commission for that long?
Sometimes longer. So I get this really deep feeling of dread and impending doom. I would get a really bad pain on the inside of my thigh. And then I would get a fever of about 103, 104 degrees.
Jeez.
I'd get incredibly nauseous. I'd start vomiting. I would start hallucinating. I wasn't able to walk. I wasn't really able to comprehend much of anything. And then about 24 hours after the pain first started and the nausea and vomiting and everything happened, the nausea and vomiting and the fever would just go away.
All right.
And then my leg would swell up to the size of a cantaloupe. They would swell up so much that on my shin, where it's normally just skin and then bone,
Yeah.
I could push down with my thumb and indent it and stick a golf ball on it and it would stay in place. It hurt to put a sock on. I couldn't even put a shoe on it. And then that would last anywhere from 3 days to a week.
Yikes.
And then it would go away and there would be no evidence that it had ever happened. Originally, this happened once. Okay, that was a fucking weird fluke. I guess I got some kind of weird fucking swamp disease that just came and went.
Yeah, never again.
6 months. After that, it happened in another 6 months. And then soon it started happening every 3 months. I started going to the medics for this. Most of the time, they had no fucking clue. When I was at Fort Polk, they had no idea what it was and they didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. You're on bed rest for 4 days.
Oh, that's all they could do for you.
Stay in bed.
All right.
Try not to walk on your foot, I guess. If you can't even put a sock on, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
I can't believe they deployed you having that medical issue.
Well, because it would only happen every 3 months. They did blood tests, they did a biopsy on my leg, and it would just come back as like nothing. Nothing's wrong. It was like, all right, well, maybe that's the last time it'll happen. Like, you feel fine now. You don't have a fever. Your vital signs are all completely normal. Everything's fine. I don't know what to tell you. So they deployed me. It happened once when I was in Kuwait flying into Iraq. I still, to this day, have no idea how the fuck I even managed to get on the Chinook flying into Iraq because I had a fever of 104 degrees and I was barely able to tell what was going on.
Good grief.
And then eventually it happened in Iraq, and because they have limited medical facilities on the small base you're on, so they sent me to the green zone to the main hospital that was there. And actually the first time this happened when I was in Iraq, my platoon sergeant thought that I was faking.
Yeah.
Because they had decided that this was going to be the time that they were going to start doing PT tests while we were in Iraq. Because they wanted to make sure that everybody was still in physical shape.
Uh-huh.
And the day that they were going to do the PT test, I started getting the pain in my leg and started getting nauseous. As soon as I was about to start doing the PT test, I started throwing up. And
Stop throwing up. Stop faking.
yeah, my platoon sergeant was basically like, stop fucking faking. Why are you faking? Two of the other people that were in my squad, they'd seen this happen before. Like, he's not fucking faking, man. Bullshit, he's just faking. Fine, bring him to the medics then. They brought me to the medics, and the medics were basically like, you were trying to make him fucking do what? Did you not see how much his leg is swollen up?
Look at that. It's like somebody shoved his leg full of cheeseburgers.
I could hold a piece of tissue paper to his forehead and it would burst into flames. That's how high his fever is right now. Because I had a fever of 104 degrees. I was like this close to my brain just boiling inside my head.
Wow, you were hot-blooded. Did they
Yeah.
check it and see?
Got a fever of 103.
Damn.
They decided to medevac me to the green zone, and they put me into a room in a hospital, and according to the medics and the doctors that I was working with, I was one of the biggest pain-in-the-ass patients they've ever had.
Why?
So when they went to put me on the helicopter, I still had a fever of about 104 degrees, and one of the medics beforehand was like, how much pain are you in? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain are you in? I don't know, man. Do you want morphine? You have to ask? Yes, actually, I have to ask. Do you want morphine? Yeah, man. So they put me on morphine. So the whole flight out to the green zone, I was having a fucking great time. So they got me to the green zone, they put me in this room, and I was on morphine the whole frickin' time.
So that's good at least.
I didn't care that I was in excruciating pain. So they tried to put an IV in so they could draw blood from it. And I kept jerking my arm back and going, shut up, you don't know what you're doing, you're not a real doctor. I don't remember any of this. They told me this afterwards. And one of the doctors said, all right, well, maybe if we give him more morphine, he'll stop. He'll like calm down a little bit.
Maybe he'll get an addiction instead.
And I said, you listen to a smart man, give me more morphine. The IV was in my left arm, but the IV stand and the drip were on the right side of the bed. So I would roll over in my sleep and pull all the cords over, and the entire IV stand would fall on top of me, and the little machine would start going beep, 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 beep. So I remember waking up multiple times in the middle of the night with a large metal box on the side of my face beeping at me and having no fucking clue what the hell was going on. So I would just wake up screaming with R2-D2 climbing on top of me, and I'm just, oh, no, get it off! Just like screaming while this thing is on me. Anyway.
It's in my arm!
At one point, I had to use the bathroom, and I decided that I was too good to use the small little tub that they had brought for me.
The bedpan?
The bedpan. So I decided I was going to use the bathroom, but the problem is the bathroom had a 6-inch step up to get into the bathroom.
Okay.
And the door was too short to fit the IV stand.
Oh, no.
So I would hold on to the IV stand and walk over to the bathroom, and the IV was just barely long enough to reach into the bathroom, so I had to hold my left arm backwards and arch my back and try to arc the pee into the toilet. So there was at least once that they came into the room and the entire bathroom floor had pee all over it.
Oh no.
Because I had just gone everywhere.
What happened here? Not enough pressure this time.
You didn't give me enough water to drink.
This is your problem. And also your fault.
You clean it up. At one point, they lost me.
What? You died?
No, I disappeared.
Okay.
I went somewhere else.
All right.
At one point, one of the nurses came into the room to check on me, and I was not there. Where the fuck did Hazard go? His IV stand is gone too. Everything's gone. Where did he go? So they had to call down to all the other different floors and figure out where I was. They found me 3 floors down on a different floor holding out of the IV stand trying to escape the hospital. Because I was convinced they were out to get me. Why you keep sicking me with needles? I haven't done anything wrong. I know my rights. This is not without precedent, because apparently my grandpa also got loopy when they gave him morphine. Anyway,
it's genetic.
They gave me a bunch of blood tests. They weren't able to figure out what the hell was going on. By the time they were able to get me somewhere where they could do good blood tests and figure out what the hell was happening, the fever was gone. The fever and the nausea and the vomiting, that was all gone.
Ghost disease.
Ghost disease. So then the only evidence that anything had happened was that my leg would be the size of a fucking cantaloupe. That's still there. So they did do biopsies on my leg 2 or 3 times. They took a fucking metal Arby's drinking straw and punched a hole in my leg and then pulled the little bit of skin out and snipped it off.
Oh, jeez.
They flew me back to my unit, and then 3 months later it happened again, and this time they were like, all right, fine, just fucking send him to Germany. Because that's where the nearest big hospital was, in Germany. This is part of where my distrust for doctors came from. Because while I was in Germany, they did biopsies on my leg. They ran blood tests 3 times a day, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Is it a fungal infection? Is it a bacterial infection? Is it a viral infection? We don't know what the hell is going on. Is your DNA just coming apart at the seams? We don't fucking understand it.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
I've never heard of this disease before or these symptoms.
One of the doctors was like, I think it's West Mediterranean fever. You're from the Mediterranean, right? And I'm like, no.
Scandinavian.
I don't know, man. I don't know where the hell I'm from. Well, maybe it's Mediterranean fever. I don't know. She's looking through his book from the 1800s on weird diseases that don't exist anymore. Maybe it's a strange type of consumption. They go and get another doctor, and this other doctor's like, all right, well, I want to put you on chemotherapy.
That's for people who have cancer.
I said, no. He says, no, it's okay. It'll be a small dose of chemotherapy. I said, not no, but fuck no. I want a second opinion. All right, well, I don't think we need a second opinion. I want a second opinion. You go get another doctor.
Here's your second opinion. Yes, we do.
Yeah, go get another doctor. So they go and get another doctor. I have to explain everything to him. And I have to explain it to every single doctor they bring in. I've seen so many fucking doctors in the last 3 weeks at this point. So they bring the other doctor in, I explain everything over to him, and he's like, all right, so he looks at the different results of everything. He's like, these blood tests all look completely normal, your white blood cell count is fine, I don't understand what the hell is happening. Chemotherapy is not the right answer, though.
Okay.
Chemotherapy is stupid. The other doctor's like, you're fucking stupid.
I think we should poison him, but whatever.
I don't think we should give you chemotherapy, but I do want to put you under and remove the lymph nodes from your legs. Like, how is that any better?
Is that a thing people do?
Well, because one of the things is, it was only ever my left leg. And they did say that where I was experiencing pain was exactly in my lymph node. So he thinks if we cut the lymph nodes out of his legs, maybe it'll stop.
And if you're wrong, you can just put them back, right?
No! You can't put them back!
Then maybe we should be sure before we start removing things.
My response was, tell me what's wrong with me. Well, we don't know, but I would like to put you under and remove the lymph nodes from your legs. No! Tell me what's wrong with me, then I'll let you go crazy with a scalpel and just remove bits all willy-nilly. Well, they couldn't tell me what was wrong with me, so they sent me back to Iraq.
See, that's the thing. If you're not assertive with your doctors, they'll start doing things to you.
Yeah, they'll just start doing stuff. That's why doctors actually have to fucking tattoo onto the leg, and the doctor has to sign the leg they're going to remove, so they don't remove the wrong leg accidentally, which they've done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They sent me back to Iraq. This kept happening, and it was like every 3 months, pain in my leg, nausea, vomiting, fever of 104 degrees, throwing up, all that fun stuff, and then it would go away. Mm-hmm. And this kept happening the entire time I was in the military until I got out of the military. And then it happened once, and then it never happened again. When I would go to the doctors, one of the possibilities that I would present is maybe I'm allergic to the army. They didn't think that was very funny, but then I got out of the military and it stopped happening, and I thought, maybe I was allergic to the army.
It may have been stress-related.
The only thing I can figure, this problem didn't start happening until after I started smoking.
Okay.
When I got out of the military, I was still smoking, but the problem didn't happen anymore. The only thing I can figure is that I was working around incredibly caustic carcinogens that are used to clean firearms. I would work with these chemicals with my bare hands, and then I would go outside and smoke 4 or 5 cigarettes without washing my hands. The chemicals are now getting into the filter of the cigarette, and I am breathing in chemicals that are not even supposed to be on human skin. And I think it was just a constant build-up and build-up and build-up until eventually my lymph nodes couldn't process this anymore and went, fuck, just dump it all out all at once!
Put it in his left leg, he's not using that!
That's the only theory I have, is that's what it was. So now you know the full story about the weird problem that was happening with my leg the entire time I was in the military, that to this day I have no idea what caused it. The moral of the story is, if you're going to work with caustic, carcinogenic cleaning solvents, wear gloves! Or at least wash your hands before you go fucking smoke. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
I was a dumb kid. I didn't know any better.
It may be a combination of stress and waking up at 3 a.m. to go to formations, or...
I haven't had the problem since I got out of the military, so I don't know, but I get disability from the Army for that, so...
You can use your disability for the problems in your leg you no longer have, and use it to fix the problems you still have that they won't compensate you for.
Yes!
The VA sounds fucked.
Oh, it's great. I went to VA to get a MRI of my back because I had filed a disability claim for it because I still have back problems. They put me in an MRI machine. The MRI tech afterwards was like, "Yeah, you have the back of like a 50-year-old man." How old are you?
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, I was like 30 something. She's like, "Yeah, 2 of your vertebrae right here are wedged.
Oh, jeez.
The cartilage is basically deteriorating on 2 of them, so they're kind of like wedged together right there."
Yikes. You're gonna have to fuse those vertebrae later.
I'm like, "That's not good." And she's like, "Yeah, that's definitely not good. You should get disability for this." And I'm like, "Okay." I filed the disability paperwork, and then VA was like, "No, that's just because you're getting older."
We're all getting older.
No, really? Really? It's because I'm getting older? It doesn't have anything to do with carrying a 130-pound rucksack 12 miles? It doesn't have anything to do with that, huh?
No, it couldn't.
Nothing? No? Okay. So yeah, I don't get disability for that one. I don't get disability for anxiety and depression because, according to the VA, that's a pre-existing condition that I had before I was in the military.
Every American is depressed.
Well, I did have to get a waiver from my doctor saying that my ADHD, anxiety, and depression did not negatively impact my life so that I couldn't join the military. So because of that, they won't give me disability for anxiety and depression because I already had it before I went to the military.
I see.
It doesn't matter that it was made worse by the military. Mm-hmm. It's really disturbing to me, like how poorly the U.S. treats its service members once they're out of the military. Oh, well, you gave 8 years of your life to the U.S. military? Great, here's a fucking coupon.
Disposable heroes.
Yeah, I don't like it.